Hello and welcome. I'm Myron Jobson and I'm joined here by Maike Currie, Investment Director at Fidelity, to discuss the issues and the barriers preventing women from investing. Fidelity have recently launched a report called The Financial Power of Women, which explores this topic further. Thanks for joining me, Maike.
Thank you.
I think one of the key findings of the report is that despite the fact that women live longer than men, and despite the fact that, on average, women tend to earn less than men, less women invest. Why do you think that is?
It is very interesting because even though we make a lot of financial decisions and we feel confident in making those financial decisions, we still shy away from investing. Now, you mentioned the gender pay gap, the fact that women get paid less. That is a fundamental issue. If you earn less, you are logically less willing to take risk with your earnings. But there are also societal issues. Women, biology dictates, often have to take career breaks to raise the family. This is referred to sometimes as the motherhood penalty. The other thing is that women tend to be more conscientious when it comes to caring for sick or elderly relatives. This, again, is referred to as the good daughter penalty. Now, all of these societal expectations and things that basically happen in life have an impact on our career progression, on our earnings, and that does impact how much we can invest. And also, we tend to shy away from risk.
And will you say that men are willing to take more risk?
Yes, it is interesting. So it's not that we as women are not interested in investing. We do feel, however, that we lack the knowledge. I think women are often much more conscious about what they don't know. But this can be detrimental because if you look at, say, the latest ISA figures, you go to HMRC and dig into the data, you'll see that overall, women hold far more ISAs than men. But dig a little bit deeper and you'll see that we hold cash ISAs where men hold more stocks and shares ISAs. Now, that has a very, very big impact on the returns we can unlock.
And how so? What are the costs of this cautious approach?
Well, in the report, we actually crunched some numbers just based on that fact. And we looked at, over the last 4 years, if you had invested the full ISA allowance in cash as opposed to stocks and shares ISA, you would be missing out on around £16,600 of return. Now, that means if you put that money into the FTSE All Share, it would have risen around 25%. Had you, however, like a lot of women have done, left your savings in cash, you would have yielded a return of less than 0.5%. Now, that really reiterates the power of unlocking your financial power. Just by taking that leap and investing, you can get far more superior returns.
Sure, but what about motherhood? Surely that affects a woman's approach to investing or their lack of.
Well, as a mother, I can attest that motherhood affects the way you think about everything, not just your finances. So you think differently about how you spend and where you spend because you think about your child and whether this money can be used for them to unlock future opportunities. And I think that really fundamentally underpins the way women think about money. We don't think about money as our own. We often think about money as our families, as our child's money, as our partner's money. And if you do think about money in that way, by definition, you are less willing to take risk with your money.
Sure, then what needs to be done? What can financial institutions do to get women investing? Is it a simple case of adopting the right marketing strategy?
Well, I do think it's a bit more complex than that. I think what we did, we spoke to over 1,000 women and 1,000 men, and we did find that women lack trust in investment providers and also feel that they have a lack of understanding in investment products. So really what the industry can do is look at the language used, look at the message that we're sending out there. Are we doing enough to get women engaged with investment, and what are we doing to build trust? But more broadly, we also need to look at those societal constraints.
Sure. Okay, and what steps should those who are thinking of investment but don't know where to start take?
Well, the first thing I'd say is that you don't need to overcomplicate it. You don't need to over-engineer it. Start by looking at a tax-efficient vehicle like an individual savings account, an ISA. Set up a regular savings plan. If you are in a workplace, make the most of a workplace pension and the contributions you can get from your employer, because essentially that is free money. And then get engaged with where that pension or where that ISA is invested. Now, if you feel daunted by that, remember that there are products out there like multi-asset funds that make the kind of big decisions for you around where you're allocating to different assets. And then finally, I'll say, remember that the most powerful thing in investing is time. So it doesn't matter how much you invest, it matters when you start. The earlier you start, the more time you have to unlock the power of compounding. And that really is an essential thing for women and for everyone to understand.
Maike, thank you very much for your views.
It's a pleasure.
And thank you very much for watching.